Hi guys. Yes, long time no speak. Why? I'm idle. That's why. No, it's not true at all. It is true, but no. The real reason is I've been trying desperately to sort out how to do this YouTube stuff and how to edit and preparing myself to do lots of new stuff for you. You must realise that all the old stuff that we've put on, some of it's 23 years old, and of course it was made for video, not for digital. Quality, could be better, obviously, and the music, of course. Again, but we are now trying to get the music off all of the videos that we can, and I promise you, on the new stuff, there won't be any music. The real reason I'm sort of coming on at this moment is because I want to tell you more about the best ghost story in the world. That is the Harry Martindale story, which, yes, is on Ghosts of York, but I would imagine everybody hasn't watched Ghosts of York. Situation was, many, many years ago, I was commissioned to do a video, Ghosts of York. And, of course, I knew that I had to have Harry Martindale on that video. Had to. And so I rang up York Tourism, because Harry used to do ghost walks after he left the police force, and they gave me his phone number, and I rang them, and I rang Harry, and his lovely wife answered the phone and said, "I'm ever so sorry, Mr. Felix, but he's rather poorly. He's having a lie down at the moment, and if you want to ring back later, I'm sure he'll talk to you." So I left it till about 6:30, 7 o'clock that evening, rang back, and lo and behold, Harry Martindale answered the phone. And I said, Mr. Martindale, it's Richard Felix here, and I used to do that TV piece. He said, I know. Yeah, I know all about that programme. I thought, dear, okay. And I said, I'm doing a video on Ghosts of York. And I won, and he said, "Let me stop you there before you go any farther." He says, "Don't talk about it anymore." I said, "Oh, right, okay." He said, "Well, let me explain it." He says, "I was coming out of a talk that I was doing on ghosts, and I had a really bad heart attack, and I've now had a lot of heart surgery, and I don't talk about it anymore. It's something that I know it sounds silly, but I don't do it anymore." So I said, "Well, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been an absolute privilege. Just before I go, can I just tell you that you're my hero? I tell your story, or should I say account, on every ghost event, ghost walk, tour, trip, lecture, talk that I do. I tell your story because I believe it to be the best one, the best ghost story in the world." And the phone went dead for about 15 seconds. And this voice came back on, says, "Go on then, I'll do it for you." And I met Harry Martindale in Treasurer's House, and he took me down into the cellar, and we stood on the exact spot where he saw his 20 plus Roman soldiers came through the wall past him. What an experience that was. And as Harry told me, he was a heating engineer, 18 years of age, drilling a hole through the barrel vaulted room, heard this trumpet, looked down and saw a legless Roman soldier. Legless because the Roman soldier and all the Roman soldiers that came behind him, 20 plus, and a horse, had all got their feet firmly placed on the Via Decumana, the Roman road, the granite Roman road, which was 18 to 20 inches lower than the cellar floor that had grown up. Hence the fact it made them look legless. They didn't interact with him in any way. They didn't acknowledge him, look at him, just marched through the wall and through the other wall and vanished. And I believe that they were a recording. I don't think they were ghosts and spirits. I think they were a recording of a tragic, traumatic event that happened to them, either attacked just before and the emotion was still with them, or they were attacked directly afterwards. And that recording has remained in the granite of the Roman road. At the end of the interview with Harry, I asked him, I said, Harry, do you believe in ghosts? And he said, only the ones that I've seen, which I thought was an incredible answer to my question. Sadly, Harry died about 5 or 6 years ago, unfortunately, and I didn't know. I missed his funeral, and I'm very sorry, because I would have loved to have gone to the funeral of the man that I think experienced the best ghost story or account that anyone's ever had. And so that's why I want you to watch it again now. That incredible interview that I had, I believe to be the last interview that Harry Martindale did with me before he died. Enjoy. I've just finished my cup of tea. I'm walking round the side of the Minster, and I just noticed in front of me Treasurer's House. This is where I'm heading for. I'm extremely excited. It's 6 o'clock and I'm going to meet Harry Martindale, the guy that saw the 15 Roman soldiers come through the wall in 1953. My hero. I can't wait. I'm going. Harry, I can't believe I'm standing here in the cellar with you, because as I've said to you, I've been telling your story for 14 years on every ghost walk I do. Has it changed much down here?
Yes, for the simple reason that where we're standing now was the original Roman road, but it was about 18 inches deep, and they dug it out. Yeah. And then, of course, this decking here has been put in for the public. And the other difference is, the most important part was that this ceiling is now entirely different. It was an arched ceiling, exactly like the ones there.
Barrel vaulted.
Yeah. This caused the trouble in the first place, because I had no idea how many feet thick it was. My job was to come in here. I was doing some alterations to central heating. The old curator, he didn't like us in here. We were intruding on his territory. And I wouldn't say it was nasty, but it wasn't helpful.
Right. Were you in here alone?
I was on loan, yeah.
And how old were you?
18.
Wow.
I had an electric light that I plugged in and then knocked a nail in the ceiling, and then that's my light that I had. A bit more powerful than that one was. And no one had said a word to me whatsoever about anything in this cellar.
No. Oh, you were here to do a job?
I was here to do some head central heating. I had to knock a hole through the ceiling there for a pipe. And I borrowed the ladder, put the base of the ladder on the Roman road, leant it against the wall, then started to knock through the ceiling.
More or less where we are now?
Oh, yeah, exactly where,
We're on the spot?
Yeah, this
right.
is where,
Yeah.
I had no idea that the ceiling was several feet thick. So I was knocking all one day, and I had to go back to the workshop and get extensions to the chisels. Then I came down here the second day, same thing, knocking away through the hole here. And the time was, all I could say was just before lunchtime.
Right.
I started to hear the sound of a musical note, now, bang, 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 bang. And I thought, someone's got a loud wireless.
All right.
And then bang, bang, bang. And then I realised that the sound was coming from the wall, and it was just a blare of a note coming out.
Right.
When I realised it was coming from the wall, I just glanced down. I was about 4 runs up the ladder. I glanced down, and in line with my waist here on the right-hand side, I saw the top of a helmet come out of the wall. Obviously, there was a figure underneath, but that's the first thing I saw was the plumes on the helmet.
Yes.
Now, I knew whatever it was shouldn't have been in here with me. And anyone in here now, the first thing you do if you're frightened is you step away from whatever's frightened you. I stepped back off the ladder, landed on my backside.
Oh, you fell off it?
Oh, yeah. I stepped back off the ladder.
Yeah.
With shot, landed on my backside, then I went backwards into that corner there.
Right.
Now, what had come out of the wall was almost a complete figure of a Roman soldier. I say almost because when he came out of the wall, you couldn't see it from the knees down.
It was legless.
Yeah. Until, in more ways than one.
As you probably
Until
were
it got here, where the excavation had been, about 6 foot in diameter. Then I saw it from the feet up. This was an important point that came out later.
Yeah.
Because
it was down in the
yeah, actually, walking
the
on
well, the trench.
It was walking on the actual surface of the Roman road, which is about 18 inches below.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, he cleared the wall, and he was blowing on a short horn.
Oh, right.
And this was the thing I heard. Now, I'm there, and your hair does stand on end.
Yeah.
You can feel the back of the neck, because I thought, how on earth am I going to get from there to there?
To get out.
But once he cleared the wall, then, I mean, people laugh here, then a horse started to come out the wall with a Roman soldier sat astride it. This was another important fact later, because when it's fetlocks, I saw from the road here, it had big bushy fetlocks. Now, the horse came across and followed the first Roman soldier, sorry you're there,
so it's
through the wall there.
This is the spot, through here,
we're about here. This is where they came out. Yeah.
Right.
Now, once the horse cleared this cellar, I mean, you're laughing, other people are laughing.
I'm not laughing because I can't believe I'm here.
Once the horse cleared the cellar, I went through the wall, then Roman soldiers came and they were walking in pairs.
Yes.
Now, I didn't go 2, 4, 6, but at least 20. Now, I heard the horse that it hit the surface of the road.
Right.
And then all I could hear from everything else was mumbling. Now, I thought, obviously what they were must have been very old indeed. But I thought, well, if they're Roman soldiers, they were tiny.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say they were only about 5 foot in height. But the horse, the way I've described that, was a great big cart horse, especially with its bushy fetlocks. They were carrying small shields, I don't know if it was on the right or left-hand side, and then all of them were carrying like an oversized dagger, a short sword, and this was on the right-hand side because this is the side I could see.
Yeah.
I could see them, so I thought all I had to do was just glance there and I'd had it.
Yeah, yeah.
But not one of them looked in my direction. So it was a slight relief. This I felt a relief. As the last one went through the wall, and I couldn't hear or see anything else, then I made my escape. Now, here, if I describe the Roman soldiers, they all had the lovely plumes coming down the back of the neck with their helmet, and they came in, and I could see with the helmets that they had beards, they had hair.
Yes, stubble.
Yeah. They all wore the shiny tops, and then round the waist it was like a skirt.
Yes.
And it had strips of leather all the way around. And then the thongs, which is another important thing later on, the thongs tied right up to below the knee. Now, I was told later on in questions, no, the thongs only went to the ankles. But at a certain time, they tied the thongs up to the knees. When the last one had gone out, and I couldn't hear or see anything else, then I made my escape. I sat for a while on top of the stairs where we just come down there, and the old curator, he saw me, and he says, by the look of you, you've seen the Roman soldiers. And I think I said something like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. Huh?
Why didn't you say anything? Then I went from here, I left all my tools here, and they disappeared later, and I came back. I went from here to the firm that I worked for, in Micklegate, near Micklegate Bar, told them what I'd seen and told them what they could do with this place. Then I walked from the firm that I worked for home, which is near the racecourse, and called in at my doctor's surgery on the way home, Dr. McGallagher it was. This is another important thing. And told him what I'd seen, and I was off work 2 weeks suffering from shock of seeing these Roman soldiers. Now, when I did my first television programme in the early 1970s, I said, I'm awfully sorry, I cannot remember when it was when I saw them. And he came around and he said, I can. He said, it's here on your records.
Oh, really?
And it's on my medical records when I saw these on, and it was February 1953.
Harry, what you've just told me, in my opinion, and in others, is probably the best ghost story in the world. And you don't know what a privilege it is for me to actually come here and meet you and be taken through this incredible story. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. I don't know.
Because you appear to be so genuine on the telephone, as I did tell you, I've come out of retirement to tell you my story because I haven't spoken about it for a long time.
I know. In fact, when we spoke, you said to me, I don't do it anymore, and I said to you, well, I do apologise for bothering you. And thank you for talking to him. And you said, no, I'll come and do it. I can't believe it, Harry.
I said to my wife, I said, why did I change my mind? But I mean, I can tell you what I can remember now, and I can only tell you in all sincerity because it's what I saw.
I know.
You can only say what you saw, and I can't make anything up. I can't make anything up about the outfits. And everything I tell you has been proved later on about how these Romans were and how they were dressed. And so much so that we know the time that they were, 390 AD.
One last question. After seeing what you saw and all the nonsense that people come out with about a load of old rubbish, too much to drink, overtired, vivid imagination, blah, 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 no such thing, what do you think? Are there such things as ghosts?
Yes. But I can only say and vouch for the ones I saw.
Harry,
yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're
It's
welcome.
been such a privilege. Thank you.